this is Kim. Welcome back. I'm really glad you're here. Today's video is going to be about what the gig economy actually is and what are some, in my opinion, the best side hustles. I came up with this idea because I heard some people talking today. And they had no idea what the gig economy was. And it was interesting to me to hear their conversation. So I thought I would try to clarify what I think it is. I could be wrong. If you disagree with me on any of this information, just please put it in the comments and I'll try to correct it if I have misrepresented anything. But anyways, this is my opinion and I hope that you find it interesting. Before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already and like this video if you find it interesting. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so what is a gig economy? I did some research to get some actual numbers. So basically, with so many people out of work during due to the coronavirus and other issues, a lot of businesses have gone out of business. A lot of places have not survived this nationwide closures that we have had, and it's really sad. It's estimated that about more than 57 million Americans are now independent contractors and taking part in the gig economy. Many of these people had full-time jobs who have lost their jobs. Many people are now underemployed and need some extra money, etc. There's so many different reasons why someone has entered the gig economy. There are three components to the gig economy: the consumer requesting goods or services, a gig worker who will provide goods and services, and the gig economy platforms that connect these gig workers to their customers. A gig allows you to work anywhere, anytime, and you can decide how much you want to work. A gig worker can typically get paid to complete short tasks and are free to choose how many of these tasks they want to complete. The biggest thing here is that you are an independent contractor and you have full control over when you work, how often you work, which jobs you accept, which ones you decline. You are not an employee of any of these gig platforms. You are basically self-employed. You are an independent contractor. Some examples of gig work: food delivery and shopping. So you have like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Instacart, Shipt, Amazon Flex, etc. So a gig worker signs up, applies to these companies, and they use an app on their phone to accept or decline offers, and everything is through the app, it makes it easy. You don't have to actually talk to anyone. You basically follow the prompts on the app to do whatever it is, like DoorDash. You get your offers, you decide if you want to accept it or not. If you accept it, you go to the restaurant, pick up the food, deliver it to the customer, and then you get paid for it. So that's how it works. There's also online marketplace sellers. People sell on Amazon, eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, etc. You pick what you want to sell, you set the price, you arrange payment from the buyer, etc. Nobody's telling you what price to set it at or how many to sell, where to sell, etc. Digital creation is another example. There's Fiverr, Upwork, lots of independent contractors. Like Fiverr, for example, if you want someone to design a logo for you or anything, but you go onto Fiverr and you'll find lots and lots of people who will do it and they'll list their price right there. I'll give you 5 examples of a logo for $25 or whatever. And so you read the reviews about the person, you pick who you want to do your job for you, and that's great. And those people that are on Fiverr and Upwork, etc., they are independent contractors. So they set their own prices, they set what they want to offer. It's great. And then they have passenger drivers, give you a ride somewhere. You have Uber and Lyft. Then there's tutors, nannies, childcare, errand running. Some examples of those are Care.com, Sitter City, and independent people. You can do surveys and get paid. You got pet services like Rover and Care.com and independent. These are all people that are choosing their own hours, their own jobs. They are choosing how much they're going to charge people, etc. Some gigs pay by the hour, while others pay you to complete a task. Some allow you to get tips from the customers, while others do not. So you can investigate all these different things and see if there's something that you think you would want to do to earn some extra money on the side. Some people do it full time. Some people do it more than full time. I met one DoorDash guy that says he DoorDashes about 60 hours a week. That's a lot of DoorDashing. But he's able to, pay his bills, and that's what he wants to do. So there you go. The benefits of gig work. You're your own boss. You work only when you want. So you have ultimate flexibility. You work where you want, choose to accept or decline job offers. It's great for students, moms with kids in school, retired senior citizens, and anyone who is currently unemployed or underemployed. Basically anyone with a few hours available that wants to make some extra money or wants to do this full time. You can choose to work for multiple gig apps. You don't have to pick just one. Like, let's say you're a very creative person and you go on Fiverr and you're going to create, little videos for people, and then you're going to go do Shipt and shop at Target and deliver it to people, and then maybe at night you're going to do DoorDash. Whatever. You can pick and choose. That's kind of the beauty of this. Most of these, it's easy to sign up and get started. Once you're approved, you start making money right away. And it's really nice because you can pick and choose and do as little or as much as you'd like. Are there any cons? Of course there are. There's no guarantee of any work, no guarantee of any hours, no guaranteed pay, no sick leave, no vacation pay, etc. As an independent contractor, you're responsible for paying your own taxes. Nothing will be taken out of your check, so keep that in mind when you're collecting your pay. Keep some out for taxes. I personally keep out 30% of my income and put it in a separate account, and I'm going to save that just to pay taxes. I am not a tax professional. I did ask our CPA, and he said that would be good for my situation, so that's what I'm going to do. But you need to talk to someone about your own personal circumstances and see what works for you. But definitely keep money aside, because when tax time comes around, you're going to have to pay. If you use your vehicle for your gig work, all vehicle expenses must be taken out of the pay you earn. No one's going to pay you for gas. No one's going to pay you for mileage. You do get a tax deduction for mileage if you use your car for your gig. Obviously, if you're answering surveys at home, you're not going to be able to, take mileage on your car. But if you're delivering food or groceries or something, you will. There's no benefits. There's no vacation pay. There's no sick pay. So you're on your own. You're your own boss. You need to save out money for, rainy days, whatever. If you want a day off, you're not going to get paid that day. So, you need to keep that in mind. Some of the gig apps are buggy and can be very annoying. I haven't run into this myself, but I have heard that some of the apps crash a lot, and people get very frustrated by that. So keep that in mind. And like I said, you don't have to do just one app. Maybe have a few lined up in case one's not working one day. You can go do something else on a different app. I personally have, I do Grubhub and DoorDash. DoorDash is my primary, but once in a while I do Grubhub. So I have that as a backup. I have a full-time regular job, so this is all just a side hustle for me. I don't rely on this money. This is extra money. So my situation is probably different than a lot of people, but I do have a full-time regular job. So this is just extra, but I enjoy it. So anyways, there you go. remember, you're on your own. If you're not self-motivated and can't get yourself out of the house to go do any of these things, this may not be for you. No one is going to call you and remind you. No one is going to beg you to come to work. Nobody cares if you come or not, to be honest. You have to be self-motivated. But you can make some good money, so that might be motivating to you. So since I do the food delivery apps, this is kind of what I'm going to talk about here. So this is a food delivery app from a worker perspective. There are many different food delivery gig apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, etc. They all have some things in common. So workers have the flexibility to choose where, when, and how long they work. You can choose to accept or decline as many offers as you want. I find it very interesting as I talk to other like DoorDash drivers and we're waiting for food at restaurants and stuff. I run into several who basically take every single offer, which I think is not very smart because some of them are very low paying. Like DoorDash specifically, you can get a $4.25 offer to drive like 8 miles. You got to go to a restaurant, wait, pick up the food, drive to the person's house, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to make very much money if you choose all those low offers. I personally don't take them, but I'm amazed at how many people do. Anyways, workers know up front approximately what they'll earn for a job, and they have the freedom to say no. So DoorDash doesn't give you an exact amount. Grubhub does. Grubhub will say, okay, you're going to get $12.65 for this delivery, and you're going to go from here to here, and this is what you're going to deliver. And you can choose yes or no if you want to do that. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, you can decline it. Workers can work for multiple apps. Like I said, you can do as many of these gig economy jobs as you want. Workers can choose to go to a certain restaurant or not. I personally have a handful that I just say no. I don't care how much the money is. If it's going to a certain restaurant, I just decline it because the food's never ready or the people working in there don't respect delivery drivers and they treat us poorly. There's one place that I have personally not been to this restaurant, but they won't let the delivery drivers use the restroom, but their customers can use the restrooms. And I'm thinking, essentially we're customers. We're helping their customers. But I'm like, well, that's really rotten. So if I ever get one for that place, I'm not going to go because of that. Anyways, it's easy to work around a busy schedule. So like I said, if you have another job, you could do this on the side. You could do it around taking your kids to school. You could work just while they're in school. You can work just Thursday night if that's the only night you have free. Whatever. It's very easy to work your own schedule. You pick and choose when you want to work. Drivers use their own cell phone, their car, their own gas, and upkeep on the car. This stuff adds up. You need to think about your expenses. Like those people taking those $4 orders, and I don't know if they're taking all this into consideration. They have to. Gas alone is expensive. I don't know. I'm in Southern California. Gas here is very expensive. Upkeep on your car is expensive, etc. You also must pay quarterly estimated taxes after your first year. So if you start in October, you don't have to pay quarterly taxes for that 1 year because you've just started in October. But then once you get to the end of the year, you'll see how much you've made. And then the following year, you pay quarterly taxes based on that estimated amount. Talk to a tax professional for that. I am not a professional. This is only what I've read and I've heard. And make sure to hold out taxes from your pay in order to, keep out a certain amount. So you have enough to pay when tax time comes around and you're not like, oh my God, I owe $3,000. How am I going to find that money? So if you already have it in an account ready to go, you'll be protected. Like if you have a regular job with an employer, they take the money out of your taxes and give you what's left over. So kind of treat it the same way, but you're the employer. So take that money out and just keep what's left over. Okay, so here's food delivery apps from a restaurant perspective. There are many different food delivery gig apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, etc., they all have some things in common. So this is the restaurant point of view. Restaurants pay the gig apps a percentage of each sale. They also pay a monthly fee to use the service, which is basically, I think, paying for the software so that they can accept the online orders. I'm not sure how much this is, but I don't think it's cheap. One restaurant person working at a restaurant said it was 30% that they pay for each sale, plus the monthly fee for the service. So they're losing quite a bit of money on each delivery. I mean, obviously it's bringing them customers they might not normally have because of the visibility on the app and stuff like that, but it's expensive. Restaurants also have no control over who comes to deliver food to their customers. Not all food delivery people are created equal. Some are better than others. I try really, really hard to do just great service for the customers that I go to. I make sure I keep the food in a hot, cold bag. I keep it upright so it doesn't tip over. I have cup holders for the cups. I take great care with the food. I go directly from the restaurant to their house. I don't dilly-dally around. I don't walk on their lawn. If they say don't knock on the door, I don't knock on the door, etc. I'm very conscientious about it, but I'm not sure everybody else is. So it looks bad on the restaurant if some guy comes and let's say he turns the pizza upside down in his car and then drops it on the person's front step and leaves, and they open it up and their pizza's upside down. They're gonna not only does it look bad on the delivery service, but also the restaurant, because thinking, oh wow, what happened to my pizza? So anyways, they have no control. They do not have their own delivery vehicle. They do not have, but here's a positive. They do not have to have their own delivery vehicle or pay staff to deliver the food. Instead, they're paying that fee to the delivery app, to the platform, whether it's Uber Eats or DoorDash or Grubhub, etc. So that's a positive for them. That's money they don't have to pay out of their own to an employee. They still have to pay it, but they don't have an employee sitting there waiting to deliver food, I guess is what I'm saying. The restaurant will show up on the app for customers, and some who have never been to that restaurant can now try it. So that's that visibility I was talking about. It's a positive for them, because especially a lot of these little small restaurants that may be suffering right now because of all these closures, they show up on the app and someone's looking for barbecue, and this little barbecue joint just, will show up, or people may have never been there before and they might decide to try it, so they could earn some new customers. It also simplifies the ordering process for the customer and saves the restaurant a lot of time. So they'll, instead of answering the phone and writing down the person's order, that person that's answering the phone is dedicated, to getting those orders in the system or whatever. But now they're coming in on DoorDash, so they automatically have that information. They don't have to, in turn, do it themselves. So that will not only make it easier for the customer, but also makes it easier for the restaurant. So the gig apps, those orders cost the restaurant money and cuts into their profit, I think, pretty severely. And I from my own experience, I see most restaurants, they prioritize their actual customers that are there that are not from these delivery apps. Now, some of the restaurants just make the food as it comes in. I don't think they care if it's a DoorDash order or it's a person sitting at a table. But some obviously do care, and they treat their people on site much better than the food delivery apps, which kind of bothers me, because these people that we're delivering to are also customers. And by not treating them like they're important, that person may not order from them again. It doesn't hurt me one way or another as a DoorDash driver whether the food's late or not, but it definitely upsets the customer, the end user at their house waiting for their food. So I don't know why restaurants are that way, but oh well. I'm not a restaurant owner, so I'm not really sure. But So anyways, this gig economy has been a lifesaver for many. It's been around for a while, but I think this year a lot more people have jumped in and have started using this as a way to make money. With an approximate 57 million gig workers, those are people who rely on gig apps to pay their bill. Now, like I said, not everyone. Myself, I have a full-time job. This is on the side, but this is money that's allowing me to do some things I wouldn't necessarily be able to do. So, approximately 50% of the workers in the gig economy have regular jobs and do gig work on the side to make extra money or to pay bills. Okay. This new gig economy allows those with the ambition to do so, to support themselves. So, like I said, you got to be motivated. You got to get out there and do it, because if you don't, no one cares. You have to be self-motivated. A large percentage of full-time gig workers are young, 21 to 36, but there are also a large amount of recently retired folks who need extra money to live on, and gig work is the answer for them. So, it's a great alternative for people who, like I said, are self-motivated, who just really want some extra money, need some extra money. There are many options. If you go back to my list earlier in the video, there's a lot of options. No matter what you've got to have a skill that fits one of those choices, and you can just make as little or as much as you want based on how much effort you're willing to put in and how much time. So anyways, I hope this has been informative, and if you didn't know what the gig economy was, hopefully you do now, and maybe you'll jump in and find some way to make some extra money or support those who are already in the gig economy. You know, a lot of us are out there, you know, just trying to make some money, and we appreciate customers that use the services, because without the customers there wouldn't be any of these platforms. So anyways, like I said, if you disagree with anything I've said, or if you have some additional information, please add it in the comments. I would love to hear it, and see you next time.